So I thought it's time to share the story of how the gym literally saved my life. I don't think I've gone as in depth as I'm about to go into right now ever before. Some of you may already know this, but I was born in Italy, 1997, and I literally lived there for 10 years. No, my math is bad. More than 10 years, till 2009, right? And that's when my parents got separated. A lot of stuff happened during that time, and then eventually they got divorced as well. So, because of the entire situation, my parents decided to send me and my sister to Sri Lanka to live with my grandma. And in Sri Lanka, my grandma and my dad's other siblings live literally on the same street. So, they thought that that would be a better option rather than just us being in Italy and being in this entire mess of a situation. And during this time, my studies were super bad. Like in Italy, the grades they give them from 1 to 10, and I used to get like 3s, 4s for most of my subjects, and that's pretty bad. So there was a concern in that sense as well as to like where my future, how it would affect my future if I continued living in Italy. So I think that was one of the biggest parts of the decision making. And somehow we ended up in Lanka. Long story short, I'm not going to get into a lot of detail there because the story is not about how my parents got divorced, but about how the gym saved my life, right? So keep in mind, in Sri Lanka, I'm living with my grandma. So, although all my aunts were living on the same street, it's still so much fucking freedom compared to living with your parents or compared to just somehow being supervised in some kind of way because my grandma is old. And again, I don't want to talk too much about my grandma either because I haven't really spoken too much about her anywhere after she passed away. But um, so I was in a very dark place, and I'll speak just for myself. I'm sure my sister went through a rough time too, obviously. So it was a rough time, man. I was alone. I was feeling alone, new country, and I was missing my dad, missing my mom. It was terrible. I was in a very dark place. I was struggling mentally so freaking much, and I couldn't even figure out what was going on in my head. I couldn't process emotions. I was sad all the time. But at school, eventually, I just got comfortable with the new people, and it got to a point where no one even knew that my parents were divorced because I was always just joking around, class clown kind of thing. But at the same time, I was focused on my studies too. The good thing that happened was my studies just went up. I started to get like 80s, 90s, cool kid. But all of that happened. But at the same time, going back to the freedom thing, right? I was very young. I was exposed to so many opportunities to sort of experiment things. I could have drunk so much alcohol, smoked weed, drugs, whatever, right? And around this time, I started to watch YouTube. I think it was YouTube at the time. Was YouTube there? Yeah, I think it was. Somehow videos of just people training, and there was this guy called, I think his name was Greg Plitt. He passed away, rest in peace. But I was watching his videos, and then my dad was big into gym too. So I was really interested in this, and I literally started to do some push-ups and stuff at home just because I was interested in it and I wanted to get good at it. And time went by, and I just fell more and more in love with the entire process to the point that I was like, I need to get my ass to the gym. But, and this is where it gets fucking annoying, my dad, he did not want me to go to the gym. He was worried that because I had a lot of freedom and because people older than me go to the gym, and gyms in Sri Lanka, it's a little bit different, right, compared to like other countries. Now that I have been to thousands of gym, I can see the difference. You're exposed to people who are more mature than you, people who are ahead in life, right? So I'm a young guy, and there are other people who are maybe drinking and just grown ups, and I'm a kid. So I see how he would have been worried that it would affect me negatively. Somehow he didn't let me, and he instead got me a set of dumbbells, which I'm super fucking grateful for. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing dumbbell curls, random ass exercises, mostly for arms. Honestly, I wish I knew about lateral raises at that time. I was just 14, 15. That's why my shoulders are fucking small. But I just started train at home, and again fell more and more and more in love with it. And my dad somehow challenged me to do this extra exam. We have O levels, right? I did both Cambridge and local O levels. It's not even something that I wanted to do, and I don't give a fuck. Like, it's not something to brag about. But my dad challenged me, and I just did it anyway. But I told him, okay, I'll do it. But if I do it, can I please go to the gym? And he said, we'll talk about it later. I thought he would let me, so okay, cool. I got the exam done, and now it's time to convince my dad to get me to the gym. He constantly, I kid you not, I had to convince him over the period of 2 months of just sort of debating and trying to tell him why it's going to be beneficial for me. He did not budge. But 2 months later, he was like, cool, you can go to the gym. I was so damn happy. So I think that's one of the happiest things that happened to me in my life, was getting permission to finally going to the gym. So I started going to the gym, and now let's get to the part where the gym saved me. I was exposed to a lot of opportunities where I could have drunk alcohol, where I could have smoked, where I could have done drugs. Drugs, of course, was not never something that I have felt interest for, but I was definitely curious about alcohol, smoking as well, not really, but I was curious in general, like most of us, right? And I have tried alcohol. That I'm not saying I've never done it, but when I look back, I can confidently say that there were more times where I chose to not do it than I chose to do it. And the main reason for that, honestly, it was the gym. Because I constantly thought, oh, if I drink today, it's going to damage my progress. I'm not going to be able to perform as well tomorrow at the gym. All of these things tied into my progress at the gym. So I would always be like, no, I don't want to. And I clearly remember this one time where my cousin brother, he wanted me to just have a drink with him, my best friend at the time, and myself, right? It was at my home, my house. I was telling my dad about this on the call today earlier, and we were upstairs. Again, freedom. No one checks on us, right? Like, my grandma is sleeping downstairs. Freedom. And I remember I really did not want to do it, but I couldn't tell my cousin. So if he's watching this video right now, he's gonna find out through this video, because to this day he doesn't know. But we were there, alcohol was there, whatever. And I told my best friend, I'm not gonna drink today. I'm going to pass the glass to you, you pour it to yourself, and I act like I finished it. So that level of not wanting to have alcohol came from the gym, because I saw how a lot of other people my age at the time were experimenting so much. And I know for a fact, given the dark place that I was in mentally, and given the freedom that I had, if I did continue doing it on a regular basis, I genuinely don't think that I would be who I am today. When I look back at the gym, there were so many times where I have gone to the gym heartbroken, sad, depressed, thinking about my parents' divorce, feeling lost, helpless, very, 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 very sad. I was in the darkest place of my life between age 15 and age 19, 20. Honestly, so many times I've cried at the gym. Literally, like, I can remember doing like a set of lat pull down, and tears were just running down my face, and nobody would really know. But I would feel so much better afterwards, after doing the session, than I did going into it. And there were so many times there where I didn't even want to be alive anymore. Like, I felt like an orphan, I felt like nobody wanted me. I felt like, what's the purpose of life? And throughout every single thought like that, gym helped me. And I, I genuinely believe I might not even be here today talking on camera if it wasn't for gym, if it wasn't for the gym. And that's why, like, the gym for me was never something that I started to do thinking, oh, I want to impress someone. Obviously, as I grew up, I wanted to impress people, but it started from like really, really finding peace in something, finding passion towards something, finding purpose, feeling like I belong in a gym community, feeling like I have some kind of routine. And that's where my passion comes from, honestly. And I feel like that's why I'm so fucking passionate to help so many other people, whether you come from a background of having divorced parents, whether you are going through heartbreak, whether you are going through depression right now, you're stressed because of your finances, whatever dark place in your life you may be in, I genuinely believe gym will change your life. Gym will save you. Gym will make things better for you. I genuinely believe that. There's someone in my life right now that is going through, I don't know what they're going through, but even for them, I don't know if they're going to be watching this video. I don't have a connection as strong to the point where I can have this conversation with them, but I genuinely believe the gym can change them, the gym can save them, the gym can change their entire life for the better. If you, whatever you're going through, honestly, get your ass to the gym. Screw the physical benefits. Do it for your mindset. Do it to feel better. I guarantee, like, honestly, if you go to the gym and whatever you're feeling right now, it doesn't get better, unfollow me. Unfollow me, never join my coaching, do not ever talk to me. Or like, I'll pay you if you genuinely give gym, fitness, all of these things a proper effort, right? And you don't feel at least 1% better, I'll pay you. Ask me for any amount of money, I'll pay you. That's how confident I am of how positive of an impact the gym can have on you. So that's the story of how the gym saved my life. And this is one of the biggest motivators for me to help other guys who look like me, other brown guys who live in Australia, who live anywhere, who live overseas, to change their life through fitness, because I know how it changed mine.